Hey guys, NCS Fan 001 here, welcoming you to Trophy Hunting Academy episode number 3. Today's topic is Platinum Trophies versus 100% and how they sort of combine with each other or can sort of get in each other's way, etc. So, in many games, there is really no difference between the 100% and the Platinum, as in, once you get the Platinum Trophy, you'll be at 100% completion. And that is the large majority of games, especially like kids' games and stuff that would never have any extra content for them. But it's not always the case. 100% often appear as just being called 100% with no Platinum Trophy in shorter DLC downloadable games, and there are tons and tons of examples of that. But most of the time, if a game is short or downloadable, you're going to see a lot of just 100% with them and no Platinum Trophies. The only other time we see a major distinction between the two is when a game has DLCs released. DLCs, or downloadable content, are exactly what their name entails. They are just extra content that you buy from the PlayStation Store, although occasionally game developers will make one for free. But you just download it and it adds more content to the game. It's usually something like a map pack for the first-person shooter games and such. And they also tend to add on trophies. Now, for some games, this isn't really a big deal with games like Sound Shapes that have tons and tons of trophies and only add in 5 new ones with every DLC. Though I think they're finally done making DLCs, and it's about frickin' time because they made like 12. I'll be covering that in another video. But often, it won't drop a game's completion 10% like Sound Shapes does. A lot of games it might drop it like closer to 20% or something if the DLC has a lot of trophies. Call of Duty does that a lot. I don't know if Killzone Shadowfall, what exactly it did, because I didn't start playing it until after I think the first DLC had been released. But a lot of games will drop your completion more than, 10%. They might drop it closer to 20%. The first DLC of The Last of Us dropped it by 31%. Just the first DLC, and if you have all the DLCs, but you also have the Platinum, it drops it to well below 50%, I believe. As I only have around 50% completion or so in the game, and I've Platinumed it and completed Left Behind, the first DLC. The most extreme example is probably DC Universe Online, though, because you only have like 15 to 20% completion when you get the Platinum, now that there's so many DLCs. I never intend to play that game either. It does not look like it'll be fun to even go for trophies in. Now, where this really starts to bother me is the fact that I'm kind of OCD and I don't like seeing my games at below 100% completion for long. Unless it's a game that I know I'll never get the 100% in or never get the Platinum in, like Shadow of the Colossus, which is a great game, by the way. You should definitely play it if you get the chance. But, games like that I'll never be able to Platinum, but other games that I know that I can Platinum or 100%, I just don't like seeing drop below that 100% level because it kind of bothers me, and I know that there's a lot of other people who are like me. Now, there are definitely a lot of trophy hunters who just don't really care about 100% because there are a lot of trophy hunters higher ranked than me on like PSN Profiles leaderboard, including some of my good friends on there that have, a lot more trophies or a lot higher rank, but have way lower completion percentages, like in the 60s or so, and my completion percentage is like 87.5 or something. Well, maybe not quite that high, but mine is around 87% because I just don't like seeing stuff get left incomplete. And like I said, I know there's a lot of other gamers that are like that you like to see the 100% in the game. And it's not that I'm saying, like, don't release DLCs or don't release DLCs with no trophies in them. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying, trying to bring this up as sort of a topic of concern, is that it gets to be kind of annoying when you get a lot of DLCs that really drop your completion percentage. And this next point I'm going to discuss more in depth in a later episode, but I really, really don't like games that have separate trophy lists for 2 or even 3 different systems. Let's take Call of Duty Ghosts, for example. That's a really good example of this, is I am not pleased with the fact they had separate trophy lists for the game, and the DLC trophies at least don't have like a cross-save feature. Like I said, I'll be discussing that in a later video. But basically, what that means is, with Call of Duty Ghosts, with both versions of the game, I'm going to need to get all the DLC trophies on my own, without any sort of cross-save. I'll have to do it twice, once on each system. but that also would mean that I would have to buy all the DLC for both systems, and that's the cost of 2 more full games for a load of crappy DLC just for trophies, because all the trophies are extinction based. Stuff like that really bothers me. That's why I'm holding off on playing Advanced Warfare for the PS3 through GameFly or anything, because even though it's a really easy main game Platinum trophy, I just don't really feel like, playing through all the DLCs again or having to buy the DLCs for trophies again. I just get really annoyed by that. And I really think developers should put in a cross-save or cloud sync feature for DLC trophies. I mean, I know that they would never do that because then they'd lose out on extra money from trophy hunters. But I really think it would be the right thing for them to do so that we don't have to re-buy the games just to get 100% completions. Because, I mean, I platinumed Ghosts on PS3, but my completion percentage is so low because I've never played the DLCs. And I've nearly platinumed it on PS4. I need to go back and do that someday. But, I mean, then I'd have to buy the DLCs again on that system to get its 100% if I ever want to go for it. And it's just really annoying because, like I said, I don't like seeing games sitting at such low completion percentages. But that's just me. I know that there's a lot of people who don't care about completion percentage that much or who don't really care about the 100%. For anyone that's watching this, let me know if you are more of just a Platinum Trophy hunter or if you do care about keeping 100% in the game. So now you know my stance on it and my beliefs about it. But that is basically the difference between them and how they sort of interact with each other. Like I said, the majority of the time there really isn't much of a difference. Any game that doesn't have DLC is going to have either just a 100% completion or both the Platinum and 100% if it has a Platinum trophy in it. So in the end, most games don't really have like a separation between Platinum and 100%. But just be wary that any DLC or any game that has DLCs is likely to have DLC trophies, and especially if it's multi-system, you would have to buy the DLCs multiple times to keep the 100% in both games. So just sort of a word of warning about that, but that's sort of how 100% and Platinum trophies work in relation to each other. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you for episode 4 next week.